Power to the people. We are back to do maintenance. You are tuned in to the latest episode of the Keep It Clean podcast. It's episode number 28. Told y'all we was gonna get past that 27 club. I am your host, Nico. I'm gonna start this off by saying this is rigor mortis, and it's gorgeous when you know what I'm saying. My boy Ray. We got my boy Ray in the building. What's going on, man?
Peace, love, and happiness. It's gang violence until it's oh my, go debate with the captain.
We got my brother Ev in the building. What's going on, brother?
What's happening? I have nothing to say, but it ain't no fun when the Mormon we think got the gun.
Let's get to it. We got my brother Rose in the building. What's going on, brother?
What's happening? What happening? What that boy Thug say? What happening? TT? You feel me?
Uh, you are tuned in for another week of keeping it a buck, keeping it a bean, and most importantly, keeping it clean. If you need to find us on the social medias at the Keep It Clean Show. If you are tuning in on YouTube, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so we can lock in on your algorithm. If you are following us on the DSPs, please be sure to add us to your library and follow along, man. We ain't gonna waste no time. We're gonna jump right into it. Hold on, because we got another good brother just popped in this joint. The good brother Bodega from the east side has joined us. What's going on, brother?
Yo, what's good? What's good? You know what I'm saying? Sorry for being late. You know, when business calls apparently. So
It's all good, man. It's all good. We just getting started, man. So we are here. We're gonna get it jumping. We're gonna start it off with solos. I'm gonna start us off right quick. You know what I'm saying? In the words of the great Cameron, niggas get shot every day, B. You be all right, nigga. You tough, right? That's it. That's my solo for the week. You know what I'm saying? Who got next?
This is mine. It's a stupid one, but um, I don't even know how to start this off. But Emmanuel Acho and Shady McCoy.
Thank you. Appreciate you, Ev.
Oh, I don't even think I'm going where you think I'm going because it's real stupid. If you gonna have a new show and you gonna just re-rock the Twitter of the old show, delete everything. Delete
fair.
everything.
They can't.
All
It's
right.
not they show.
Delete all that shit, Piggy. Like, this is the thing, bro. Like, they have a new show, Speak Easy. They just they turned the Twitter of Undisputed with Shannon and Skip into the Speak Easy Twitter page. So if you scroll and just go to the media, you're gonna see old clips of Undisputed, Shannon Sharp and them going back and forth.
Sound
That's
like
what I'm
budget
saying.
cuts.
It's not they. It's not they page.
Yeah, that
It's
sound like
just,
y'all gonna have to just run this. You
I'm
know,
Yeah, we
sorry.
still get paid off that content, brother. That got to
yeah,
stay up.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
just that sound like when the viral folks be like, "Hey, $1,000, you can have my page, you can buy my page."
Type shit for real. Ray, you
But
got a
that's my
solo
keep.
for us for sure, brother. Ray, you got a solo for us this week, man.
Yeah. I know we
Let's
don't
do it.
talk about it often. We don't talk about it often in taking pride in certain moments of productivity. But if you just take a little bit of time to assess what has been going on with Target, I know boycotting seems like it's a lazy form of revolution or pushing back, but those numbers are affected. So if you always believe that there's nothing that can be done, sometimes small steps occur. The CEO then had to step down. They stock then went down by billions. They then missed out on some sales and a whole bunch of other stuff. And this all started at the top of the year. We in quarter three, and
Yeah.
they then pivoted from a lot of the stuff that they had going on. So it seems minor, but in those moments, those are the types of things that we're supposed to build off of whenever we press forward. And if not, end up talking to Commander Spock, saying, "Oh my, beam him up."
Bodega, you got a solo for us this week?
yeah, man, it's just something light, man. You know what I'm saying? Here's the thing, right? Words always lead to actions. And so, you know, if you out there saying that like, yeah, words are just words, or you know, things are just things, and like all of that other bullshit, I'm not trying to hear none of. I ain't trying to hear none of it, bro. Like words always lead to actions. Words are always a indicator of the action. You might be one of those niggas who like, yeah, you gotta show and prove, and then that's how you end up in a situation where you got niggas proved.
Facts.
Niggas proved. And you
Facts.
still talking about something you got to show me. I'm not. We'll get into it when we start talking about, yo, we gotta keep it clean, but like, yeah, bro, words always lead to actions.
If you had to stand in the corner for a timeout, if you said something crazy in the house or in school, then you already learned that words mean something.
It's a fact. It's a fact. Rose, you got any solos, anything for us this week, or can we jump right in?
Life is not a game. You niggas will not respawn. Do with that what you must.
Short, sweet, and to the point, man. All right, bet. We're going to swing it over to Ray for the first topic. Let's do it, brother.
For the first topic today, we getting into life. And I want to wrap up our Keep It Clean, like Brother Nick said, was saying that there's only two questions that you can't respond to. Are you asleep or are you alive? And we are alive to see two boxing titans go into it this weekend for the Netflix showdown between Mr. Terrence Crawford and, why am I blanking on my man's name, Canelo. You got a Mexican juggernaut, and you got the Nebraskan Cornhusker that came out of the middle of nowhere. This is supposed to be a mega match. Boxing don't have many of those left. Do we have any predictions for the fight? It's free on Netflix, by the way. If y'all got Netflix, they streaming. It's free for everybody to see.
I'm going to stand with my people. Let's get him, Crawford. You know what I mean? That's all I got, man.
That's a hell of an analysis.
Crawford went up 2 weight classes for this. It's a heavyweight match. He went up 2 weight classes, which that ain't no light feat. If you're not aware, that's no light feat. And you going in there with a dude that's essentially been a monster since Floyd put hands on.
3 weight classes.
Oh, 3. I'm sorry. Yeah. Pardon self. He went up 3 weight classes for this. And Canelo ain't no lightweight, bro. Canelo's far from lightweight.
Yeah, facts.
You know, I think if I'm correct, Rose, he's only lost to Benavidez since Mayweather.
Bivol.
My bad. Bivol. Yeah, he lost to Bivol since Mayweather. Yeah,
he lost to Bivol because he tried to move up too, and that didn't work out. So he lost to Bivol. You know what I mean? Like, just go like that.
Say less. Anybody else? Y'all got predictions?
I think Canelo wins. Sorry. I think Canelo wins. That's just me.
Why are you a hater?
Nah. I think I got if you just going off boxing, just pure like unbiasedness, just pure nothing. Like you just going off straight boxing. Canelo wins this shit in like kind of convincingly. The same way that Bivol beat Canelo pretty convincingly. When you try to move up that many weight classes, like let's just say everything matches up. Hand speed matches up. Defense matches up. IQ in the ring matches up. The thing that separates is weight classes, and that's why they have weight classes for a reason. Like Lil Dude always gets beat if it's a skill thing. I can understand that, but Lil Dude always loses when it becomes just everything is equal and it's weight classes. So, I mean, I like Terrence. The only thing that I will say, like Terrence is a little older, but Canelo got miles on him as far as many fights as he has fought.
Yeah,
like Terrence has fought way less. I think Canelo got at least 17 to 20 fights more than Terrence professionally. So that does matter. You know what I'm saying? And if you watch Canelo recent fights, he doesn't look like the same kind of fighter. So I think Terrence could catch him. And if he do that, you know, he's in those conversations with the greatest fighters to ever live. So I'm going to roll with Canelo, but I'm rooting for Terrence.
That's kind of the same reason I had behind it. I think the miles are starting to wear down on Canelo, and it's starting to show as of recent. But that experience, man, that's where it may cancel out the experience that Canelo has. Crawford hasn't seen at the weight class that he typically fights at. and that might be the difference. So I'm not mad at somebody saying Canelo, but I'm pulling for Crawford. You know that
Yeah.
I'm pulling for Crawford.
Odega, you got any predictions on this jump?
Nah, it's not my speed. So we're going with whoever black.
I was to the
You're not
people.
doing
You know what
nothing
I'm
else.
saying?
You're not doing nothing else Saturday. You might as well watch it. You're not doing nothing else.
Probably tap in. I'm done. Yeah, it's something to tap into. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm a roll with Crawford, man. Moving to the next joint, we gonna kick it back to Ray. What's going on in North Carolina, man?
Out in North Carolina, we unfortunately have a situation that we've kind of touched on certain issues like this before within our conversations that we've had on the pod. But we have a gentleman and a lady that was riding public transit. This is out in North Carolina, where a gentleman by the name of Decarlos and a refugee lady that had came over from Ukraine to avoid the war that was happening over there. There was a unfortunate unaliving, pardon self. There was a unfortunate unaliving that occurred on this train, and the big issues that are at play here was this man had been in and out of jail 14 times, 14 separate times before this had occurred. So displaying characteristics, you could call it mental health situations, you can call him a repeat offender. There's a myriad of things that falls under this umbrella, and the feeling is, had he had gotten help, we might have a different outcome than what we're looking at currently. It was intended to be the biggest thing that was going to be in your news cycle until the events that we're going to speak on later on in the pod. So I was presenting it to you guys on, if you've looked into the situation, how do y'all feel about it? What does it look like? I understand there's sentiments of this is why we need reform. Yes. But let's push a little bit further, since we've had the reform talk before. Like, what does that look like and what does that mean? Because in this type of situation, again, 14 times is crazy. I don't care which way you slice it. Being in and out 14 separate times, and then for some of them being rather egregious situations, and the fact that he even got out 14 times being a black man is kind of crazy in itself too.
I mean, you know, I'm definitely a proponent of mental health inside the prison and outside. You know what I'm saying? I think pathways back to citizenship and freedom is always important, and maintaining somebody being able to reintegrate in a kind of seamless fashion, as seamless of a fashion as possible. Yeah, when you got folks, when you put into account how much money the system make off of somebody just constantly being in the cycle, then it's like, hey, you see what the incentive is. The incentive is to get the bread. The incentive is the pre-trial. The incentive is the probation. The incentive is the paying for the piss test, all of that type of stuff. So I think when you prioritize money over people, you end up with these types of situations. I want to say rest in peace to that woman. You know what I mean? I hate to be running from a war and then come over here and get killed on some senseless type time. That's out of pocket. But again, it don't nothing change if don't nothing change. That's how I stand on it. Ev, what you got?
I'm actually a little more so in the dark with less information on this subject. So I was actually kind of reading some of this stuff. First off, prayers out to the woman involved, to the suspect. Unfortunately, especially to hear that mental illness is involved with him in these arrests and everything. It's tough. I would say, yeah, like receiving proper care or proper help. That's the very first big step that we do need to do into getting into these situations. Like you said, um, being arrested 14 times is a lot. But again, I mean, getting adequate help. You know what I'm saying?
Like we could have cut this down to 2 or 3 if that was the case. But
and I'm sorry for the long pause in that one, but it was just really trying to, like, that's just as blatant as I can say on the words. It's just, I mean, we could say, oh man, yeah, he was arrested 14 times, which that's the thing that they're trying to highlight. Well, let's highlight the lack of help. Let's highlight that, you know. Like, and again, I'm not saying that as a way to dismiss at all.
Mhm.
Right.
It's just the fact of we're highlighting a number when we also know there was a way that we could have limited that number too, or not even limit, because we can't say yes or no guaranteed, but there was a way that we could have minimized or know that we were putting in some effort to minimize that.
Mhm.
So let's start there. That's what I say.
To give a little bit more insight, he was incarcerated at least prison time up until 2020. He's had arrests since then where he was, charged, might have spent a little stint in jail here and there, and then sent back home. I think what stuck out to me outside of the unfortunate situation that happened with the lady, his mom and sister had both said they realized that he was going through a lot after his incarceration. And to me, if you saw the sign and that's what you are now putting out there today, you said you've been noticing this since 2020. Those are the times that you're supposed to grab somebody. Those are the times you're supposed to tap in, man. Y'all seen it. We're sharing with the public, not the full details, but the conversation we were even having this past week and going back and forth on what those struggles look like. These are some of the after effects of that. Whenever you consistently spend your life rotating in a cycle over and over again, you may not be able to see it. And this gentleman himself was clearly saying he didn't see it. One of the statements he had made was something along the lines of, man, I didn't even know her. Man. It's crazy how that happened. Those are words from him. And if the people around him saw it where he wasn't able to see it, those are the conversations that, I'm trying to push for is, what should mom and sis have done? Or what were the capabilities that might've been available to them? And if you don't know, can you find out for what's happening, what in the spaces that are around you?
I mean, I could speak to this slightly. You know what I'm saying? I have a little bit of, I ain't gonna say a little bit. I have a lot of experience with mental health in my family, mental health coming out of or trying to come out of prison and reintegrate. And I just say out the bat, especially, I ain't gonna say across the board, but depending on where you are, it ain't too much that they trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't gonna put nobody business out there, but folks told me basically the spot that they have, that's the mental health spot that he can go to, is booked out for the next 2 years. So until then, Salvation Army is what they told me. If he ain't got no family, it's Salvation Army. And we know how that's gonna go with people needing medication, people needing stability and a safe place to be where folks is gonna tend to their needs with care. The Salvation Army ain't necessarily that. And you're not really leading folks nowhere to be safe or to be integrated back into society when their options are homelessness or waited out. So that I'm looking at this. I'm looking at the system. I'm looking at the government. I'm looking at like y'all. This is y'all's area of expertise. This is what y'all are supposed to be getting paid to do. So I'm trying to ask them, what we doing?
The sad part about it is exactly what you had just said. His mom himself said her and her husband tried to help him stay on the routine. And once he was off his medication, they said they didn't want to deal with it no more. Or her specific words, we're just not going to do it anymore, was what she said. And then they dropped him off at a shelter. And that was the end of the conversation there.
Yeah. Rose, Bo, y'all got anything for this one?
I think what I find maybe most funny in a non-funny manner is we always go to arrest records, right? And to the points that I've already been spoken about as far as help and what that looks like, we are fairly positive in this day and age that the police are not designed or equipped to help anybody who is, regardless if they're a criminal or not.
Facts.
If there's a gray area, if there is a space where like a caseworker or like a behavioral specialist or anything along those lines, this follows a trend here in America of criminalizing these people instead of finding solutions for the greater good. Now, okay, you know what I'm saying? We can talk about idealism and all those other kind of things. Like, that's cool, that's fine. But like, at some point, we got to keep it clean. Pretty much. Like, what are the statistics that say that the police are actually going to help you in any given situation?
Mm-hmm.
What are those statistics? And I know what like some of those other arguments may be or whatever the case, whatever. But like, can I trust as a normal citizen? Can I trust that the police are going to do anything in my best interest, or even be equipped to be understanding enough to see to it that like I'm treated humanely?
Right.
I can't say that to them. So like, what are we actually to do with that? It would be my question, and I don't have an answer for that.
Nor do I, brother. Go ahead, Ray.
When the police themselves tell you that they don't have enough equipment for it, that should be a sign. And I know we usually run into that sign. We may not have the answer right now, and we could kind of, allude to things and then talk about ideologies, just like Bodega was saying. But too many of these types of situations are happening. I don't want us to just leave it there. And this goes for anybody that's listening as well, man. All because we don't have it right now, I don't think that necessarily means stop trying to think of something. Now, what to do with those thoughts, we could continue that conversation, but let's not stop the thought process train.
Yeah, I want us to be clear too. Like, they are equipped. They got money. They are using the money to allocate the shit elsewhere. Like, let's be clear about that too. Like, they have the resources. Let's stop saying that.
For SWAT teams and military vehicles, and
it's about allocation,
flexing, and like all of these other tax dollars to do, you know what I'm saying, to rep the set, you know what I'm saying, to do poses and shit like that. It's never any money when it comes to actually helping somebody do it.
Yeah,
but it's plenty of money to flex. We want to arm the police.
I gotta get mine. That's what it is.
From Army surplus, plenty of money for that.
I won't even hold you. There was a period of time I'm driving down the highway and I got passed up by a GT Shelby owned by the police department. Just casually there. It's like, you can't even arrest somebody and put them in the back of the car. like, what do we? You say you got them from repo? No, they might have. But
they took that from a dope boy. 1,000%.
Facts. Big facts.
That's tough. They didn't deserve that. But yeah. You are right. Not might. You are right. They do got the resources. They just ain't using them the way that they're supposed to be using them.
Yeah, that tends to be a recurring theme when it comes to America and how they spend their money versus where it should be prioritized. But definitely rest in peace to that woman. You know what I'm saying? Thoughts and prayers to her family. I hope that brother does some way, shape, or form get the help that he needs so that, this doesn't happen again. Even if he doesn't come back from this, I hope he gets the help that he needs so that he could possibly be some type of light to somebody on their way out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, for sure. And now, go ahead.
Her name is Ariana Zarutska. I didn't want to just leave her out there. So mother of some children, rest in peace to her. And hopefully if there's something that you can do to help out her family, do that.
All right, brothers. Now that we've got all the semi-serious stuff out the way, Young Thug interview. If y'all are not aware, Young Thug went and did an interview with Big Bank last Friday, I want to say. He basically touched on everything from his early life to music to the case. A whole lot of sound bites came out of this, a lot of clips. I'll start off here. I thought this was a great interview. You know what I'm saying? Salute to Big Bank. I thought he asked questions that definitely we was all thinking. For me, for sure, saying like, you know, Thug said he was in there praying, said he would come home, and Bank asked him like, did you not feel like your prayers was answered? It seemed like you came home and was playing, and you know that was something we all felt. You feel what I'm saying? I thought this was a great interview, though. I think there was a lot that was said. I think a lot of light got uncovered. I think we learned a lot about Young Thug, how his process works in his mind, the way he breaks things down. Whether that's flawed or not, it's up to y'all to decide. What was Bodega? What you thought about this interview, brother?
I mean, listen, man. First things first. Shout out to Bank, and I think it's important, like regional. I think a couple podcasts ago we talked about like regional impact, regional music, and those kind of things. And I think it's important because Big Bank was probably the only person who could actually do this realistically, like from a cultural standpoint, from a relatability standpoint. Like Big Bank is the only one who could get this off. He used perfect interview craft to kind of open Thug up, make him comfortable so that he could get to the more honest answers. Rose, look.
Ain't nobody gonna say nothing.
Ain't nobody gonna say nothing, man.
Listen, man, we gotta be mature in these moments. But like,
no, facts.
you know, I definitely appreciate Big Bang for being the one who did this interview. On the other hand, one of the things that kind of really highlighted to me was this ongoing conversation about street politics. But the more striking thing to me was how in a lot of scenarios Young Thug was relating street politics to manhood. And I think that plays a lot into identity. Identity as a Black person, identity as a Black man. And how we in general kind of relate to these things and why these things may play such an important factor on the culture at large. I also think a lot of that is bullshit, but when you're talking about identity politics and those kind of things, it's a little, it's a bit harder to kind of dig through that. I also hope that Young Thug has gotten all the talking out of his system and can get back to music, because the majority of the people who are spending money on the music do not care if you a snitch or not. They don't care. They don't care about you a snitch or not. They don't care about your criminal allegations. They don't care about you being paroled. They don't care about you blatantly violating your parole music. They don't care about none of that. They just want you to produce good music. Overall, the people want you to be in a good space. You should use that goodwill to be in a good space, because you bullshit otherwise.
Right.
I know we're being pseudo serious, but my man's told me he had a great dad. He never had to ride the bus, and he always gets a ride to school, and then proceeded to tell us a story about how they used to wait at the bus stop for the bus before they got on and squabble every now and then. I don't know how to take you serious. You say you
Moms
never
and pops
got
together.
hey, my man. You gave me 3 hours of more talking, and while I appreciate some of the insight, one of my biggest takeaways, first and foremost, was you probably should have did this first. If you were going to do this, you probably should have did this first, and then save all the tweets. You probably should have been prepped for the idea that these phone calls were going to come out. I think that's one of the things that's really throwing me off the most is I think it's hard to believe that we haven't been in the era that we live in and seen phone calls get released on a regular that you didn't think these were coming out. I think that's partially throwing me off. So you could have prepped for this if you were really trying to get back on top and take off where you left off, especially on the come home welcoming. You were one of the bigger names that have faced this type of situation in our recent times within these last 5 or 6 years. You were one of the bigger artists that have done through this. I might be looking at it more just from the business aspect. I mean, there was a lot of fumbled opportunities here. Getting past that, tying into Bodega's point, that weaving in and out of what you were expecting to do as a man came out of this conversation. And it was great for somebody like, I think Tank has said he's on the other side of 50, if I remember correctly. During the interview, I said he was in like in his mid 50s or something like that. Right. That age and wisdom showed, because every time Thug started to veer into getting back into young head mindset or not being ready to take the accountability for what was presented in front of him, Tank would pull him back in. Wait, nah, but this right here. So the benefit of it was him saying that he was able to get some stuff out of his system in the midst of this interview, and then aiming to heal from it. What that looked like, if that's just a ploy, only time will tell. But about 3 hours after everything else then came out, I get it, I guess. That's how I feel.
For sure. Rose, what was your takeaway from this interview, brother?
I think Bank is the only person that could have held this interview. I'm glad that Thug didn't go to like, Gilly or, nobody outside of the region to go do this joint. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm super glad that Bank, being as respected as he is, we ain't got to run down like why he is who he is to the Atlanta scene. We don't have to do that. I think at a certain point, it don't matter how old you are. As a man, when you respect that somebody don't walk the same life in the same footprints and took the same steps as you done took, they're able to talk to you in a different way. You know what I'm saying? And you respect that conversation and you hold it in reverence. And you know what I'm saying? Bank is able to have a conversation with him as somebody that has actively done the work and is still doing the work. Basically telling him that, nigga, like, you gotta heal, brother. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta heal from all this shit. You gotta let this shit go, because this shit over. God gave you a second chance, and if you gonna sit here and still sit in the same exact place, you ain't doing the only person you doing a disservice is yourself. For Young Thug, I'm glad that he got to do that. That was like a form of therapy for him. He spoke for 3 straight hours about him coming up, how he feel about that case, how he feel about every individual that he feel like wronged him. And I hope that what he take from out of that is, bro, don't nobody care. Don't nobody care about none of that shit that you talking about, brother. Like, it's time for you to move on and get to the other phase of your life. We don't care about who snitched or care about who ratted. We don't care. Is you gonna come back or is that gonna be your whole story? Is the rest of your story as a rapper, as a man, gonna be about somebody told on me? Is that what the rest of your story gonna be about? I hope it's not. He dropped an album September 19th. I just seen the post. Like, so he about to drop an album. And I hope the whole album ain't him talking about motherfuckers being rats. Like, I hope that I get to hear something mature about him moving on and moving forward. Like, you know what I'm saying? And for the rest of everybody else, I hope this is a tale of a cautionary tale of, bro, you niggas are monkeys in a fucking circus. And I don't want that to be taken into like a racial form or whatever. No, you niggas are monkeys in a circus, bro. These niggas don't care about you. They don't care about you. Motherfuckers want the next click, the next joke on Twitter, the next joke on Instagram, the next hit of dopamine. That's what y'all are to these people. Y'all not even human beings. And I hope y'all can see that. And I hope that you can genuinely move forward with your life, because this shit is not real. This shit is not real, bro.
How are you supposed to do that though when you created somebody? Or I mean, God did, but you helped. How are you supposed to?
Yeah, we can get as many jokes as we want off, but at the end of the day, Young Thug got to go to sleep by himself. All these people got to go to sleep by themselves. All these people that told or did whatever they did, you got to answer to the big Lord above. Like, bro, nobody cares. And when I tell you 15 of these people or 20 people on this case, you will never hear about them again in about 5 months. and they gonna move on with their life. The only people we gonna hear about is Young Thug and Gunna. Gunna is drowning this shit out as best as he can. He gonna have to answer eventually if Thug keep making noise. He gonna have to answer. He gonna have to say something, or maybe not, or maybe not. He may not have to say nothing. But all I'm saying is, I want everybody to move forward, bro. Like that's the only thing that we can do, because if you believe in your heart of hearts that the people, like Bodega said, the people paying for this music, these white people paying for this music, they don't care if y'all think that they rats. Like they don't care.
Yeah. And so outside looking in, let me just ask y'all some questions, because y'all there, and I understand not giving a whole rundown of it. But one of the takeaways that I was watching where it felt different was the frequency of names that he's attaching himself to in order to try to, it looked like, reach out to get somebody just to help. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if it wasn't accusing people of being a rat, you were talking about your relationship with 21. You brought up Future. You done brought up Drake. You brought up all of these names. And similar to what Rose you saying, like, yes, you're gonna have to deal with that by yourself. It made it seem like a cry for help, not even just for the personality side, but even on the music side. For somebody that's dropping an album in a couple of weeks, if you said the 19th, that's next week, like give or take 8 days from now, right? No other motion I have seen on the music. Everything has been phone call after phone call, interview, tweet. That's it. I don't even see him referencing music.
He told you in the interview that's why it's hard to move on, because he just lost all his friends. He literally just lost all his friends. So it's not as simple. It's just, and I'm saying it kind of like, just matter of fact. It's a little harder than that. Like, you just lost all your friends to one case. You know what I'm saying? You can't be around these people. That's a part of your probation. Like, you cannot be around these people. So who does he talk to besides his sister? Who does he talk to besides the internet that don't love you? These people don't love you, bro. You doing this shit for clicks and all that. These people don't love. It's nobody for him to talk to. Wham! You want to talk to Wham? No,
we can't skip past the part. Even though it wasn't in an interview, you lost somebody else to talk to, because the person you were on those jail calls with, come to find out, there's allegations of you doing whatever you was doing when you was in there, and now she feels away.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying. So now you done lost. You done lost. Hey, hey, man.
If we gonna move on, we all gonna move on. We can't be sitting in that. Is that a problem, man?
Oh man!
But you lost your connection. You lost your connection.
What was your takeaway from this interview, man?
I don't want to regurgitate nothing nobody said. I apologize. I had to step away briefly. But man, I'm gonna just say it was a good interview, and Big Bang was the necessary person to do the interview with. If you notice, again, he counseled immediately with Aiden Ross, and now originally realizing, like, damn, you were going to sit down with Aiden Ross, we realized we were not going to see anything like that. So like and that's the idea, like that we had a conversation with a group chat. Well, y'all did. I wasn't a part of it. Y'all had a conversation, and it was a very big eye opener when I was really like listening to y'all when I was talking about trusting like people because of experience of who you can talk to and who you don't talk to in those circumstances. And like all week I've been thinking about that conversation simply because he had canceled that Aiden interview immediately. And it was just it's like it shows right there that range of, we don't know how it could have went if he did sit down with Aiden, but we know for a fact it would have been nothing anywhere like
Aiden Ross. Who
is
he? How did he get here? I know. Let me be clear.
The blonde hair white girl got here. What's her name? I forget her name. Shorty who just did the interview with Drake, whatever case.
Yeah, whatever. Her name is important.
Somehow, white people just they just allowed to infiltrate and do whatever the fuck because
I've noticed. I'm true, but we're
not spending this much time on
people that go.
Yeah, let's not do that. But it's just that interview was great. it gave me a little bit of more grace of how he was feeling of the things he was going through. I still think he said some bullshit, but whoop-de-doo. Bullshit is said in the midst of things.
Yeah, I do
So
like to that point because like he said the one thing that it was a couple of things that stood out, but one of the main things that stood out was when Bank was saying like, you know, do you not feel like you playing with your blessing, and like do you not feel like God answered your prayers? And he was like, you feel like that, but at the same time you got folks around you talking about you the wizard. That was very eye-opening to me because it's like that tells a lot of the story in itself. If you don't have folks around you to keep you grounded, to keep you aware of the blessing that you are in the midst of having, it'll turn you into fucking your blessing up. Like very
But don't sell it short though. In that same essence, he was also saying when it was being highlighted, like, yeah, I saw some problems, but you know, I was happy. I just figured everything was okay. So he saw it too. We can't skip that piece. He was aware that there were things distracting from the blessing, and he bypassed it until this situation because he was happy. Everything was good. He didn't see nothing wrong. So in his mind of being the peacekeeper and the wizard, he also bypassed his own situation when the people were telling him, you're a wizard, or you are the reason this is happening. If that's what you built up in your own mind, that too also plays a role in your own self-destruction.
Yeah,
But
for
it
sure.
also shows that, bro, when you in something, your perspective is completely different than somebody outside looking in.
Yeah.
You will never see yourself the way other people see you. You know
That's
what
a
I'm
fact.
saying? So that's why it's important for somebody like Bank to explain to him how people look at you and what you're doing actively. And like, bro, you playing. Like you got all this stuff in front of you, but you playing because he don't look at himself in that light. I hope Bank doesn't like look at this as now he got to be like a hood goddamn prophet or whatever. But
Yeah.
I'm saying at the same time, he is a great person to talk to people to help them understand what's going on because he not in there joking. You know what I'm saying? You get a Willie, a Gilly and Wallow interview, and they're gonna throw in jokes. They're gonna be in there playing and still be serious. But Bank is dead serious. He not joking. And
Yeah.
when no jokes in that shit.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. What's up, Bray? I see you cooking up over there. What's up? Nah, you good?
I'm happy for y'all
What you
that
mean?
Atlanta could
No,
start
what you
their peace and
Nigga,
prosperity.
Man,
I'm happy for
watch
y'all.
out.
That's
Watch out, man. What Thug said, man? Watch out, man. Watch out.
Watch that.
Watch out.
I'm happy. I'm happy y'all have a pathway in front of you that y'all can start mending the fences and whatnot.
Listen, man, if you ever feeling like too much of that nigga, make sure you you know what I'm saying, you get on your knees and you pray to God.
Please.
It's a lot of this, you know, niggas running around telling you the wizard. A lot of this could have been solved with you just praying. You know, praying while things are good, not just praying because shit not going your way. So, you know what I'm saying? Keep yourself in tune, keep yourself in check.
That's a fact. That's a
And
fact.
focus on
Shout
you.
out to
Keep
Big.
other people's name out your mouth, bro. Like, please, man, keep other people's name out your mouth.
Oh man, shout out to Bank. You know what I'm saying? Keep doing the good work that you're doing out here. Thug, we hope you are on a path to healing and moving on to give us some great music in the near future. I did hear that joint you just put up on your Instagram, and that ain't it. But we gonna hold that down. We gonna hold that down for right now.
Is it
Ladies,
almost?
no,
Just a no?
no. It's a man. Watch out. It's a man. Watch out. That's what that is. But what we all here for today, man? Breaking news that just came across the desk yesterday. Charlie Kirk has been killed. Charlie Kirk, leader of Turning Point USA, right-wing political activist, known for doing many debates, known for being an agitator, was in Utah at a college doing one of his debates that he always does, being asked a question about mass shootings. And right after he, I guess, gave a question answer to whoever was interviewing him, got shot in the neck. The shooter, we don't know. They've released a picture of this person, but nobody has been caught as of yet. There was a few people taken into custody. They've all been released, showing you again how bad the police are at their job. But yeah, man, Charlie Kirk has been killed. And look, I'm gonna start this off here, man. Charlie Kirk said out his own mouth that innocent lives every single year was a price worth paying for maintaining his right to have a gun, to maintain that Second Amendment. So this environment that was created, he was cool with that, and he paid the price that he thought was good to pay. That's all I really got for him. Like, hey, you know what I mean? I hope his kid don't have to see that, but you know how social media work. Outside of that,
they was there.
Yeah, they was there. No, damn, yeah, they was there. They was there. Hey, I mean, you know, this is what folks was telling you the whole time. This is what folks been telling you. This is what folks been ploying with the government to do. Like, hey, we need to put some restrictions on this to make sure that this is not as possible as it is, and we see just how it play out. As far as the empathy and shit go, Charlie ain't believe in empathy himself, so why I need to?
Hey man, look, I'm a kick it off because I don't have a whole bunch to say because I don't want to make a whole bunch of jokes. This is not ha 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 key time for me. What I will say is we need to be very careful with the energy that we expel into the earth. Need to be careful with the things you say. Need to be careful with the things you do. People not outside playing. This might be one of the most radical times that we've seen in a while where people are willing to take your life for the stuff that you say. So, you know, if you're willing to die by your words, you know, you will be held accountable in any form or fashion. I don't know what that may be, but you will be held accountable for the things that you say. And I know he don't believe in empathy. Just because somebody don't believe in empathy, I ain't gotta be like, you know, clap it up for you because you just got smacked. I think it is ironic that the last you said going to be gang violence and you got killed. God has a great sense of fucking humor. I will say that. And you know what I'm saying? Prayers to his family, prayers to them kids. I know they just lost a dad. I can't imagine how they feel. You know what I'm saying, to his wife, but you know, stuff that man was putting out there, very divisive, very, very dangerous,
very racist, very homophobic,
very racist,
transphobic, very xenophobic.
All the icks,
all the obics. Come on, man.
Yeah,
you know
all
what
the
I'm saying?
obics. So you know what I'm saying. But prayers up to his family. That's what I will say. And for him, you know, may you be judged the way that you'll be judged on that other side, brother.
Let God sort him out. Let God sort him out. You know what I'm saying? Ray, what you thought about this?
Oh, they could go. I'm still formulating.
Well, let me get started. I'm gonna go ahead and say this. Prayers to his family, because that's just I'm gonna say that because I don't know the man. I don't hate the man. Prayers to his family. But echoing what Rose said, what you give off, you can expect that back. That's just the simplest form you can give it, man. And like I said, I ain't the person that's gonna do it, and I ain't gonna judge the people that do it, because again, you put it out there. You put it out there. So again, just the simplest form. Expect what you give back, man. You didn't give a damn. You wouldn't give a damn if someone like that looked like me. If this happened to them,
you ain't give a damn if it happened to somebody like you.
He would have said it was a statistic.
Facts. That's the sickest part of the whole. It's like, bro, they talking about school shootings. You like, I mean, why they need to be more fathers in the home. Like, you completely insensitive to all of the situation that leads to this type of chaos. You preach chaos, expect chaos to pull up on you.
Game
You know
is
what
the
I'm
game.
saying? Bodega, what you got for this one, man?
Um, between May and August of this year, 300,000 Black women have lost their jobs, either to some sort of layoff or some sort of rollback of DEI initiative or anything along those lines. It's about, I think the total right now is somewhere at 756,000 for the year. It's Black women. I haven't even talked about Black men yet. And so when we start discussing somebody whose whole push was, this rhetoric against DEI initiatives, against the qualifications of Black people, against alignment to evangelical like Christianity. It's hard to play both sides of the fence, is what I'll say. It's you know what I'm saying? Like it's challenging for me to say, oh well, just because you disagree, that means that somebody deserves to die, anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. But there's a fundamental difference between disagreeing and weaponizing your words and your actions against a certain set of people, and then we see that outcome happen in real time. This goes back to that words always equal actions type of thing. And so, like, yeah, we can say that this particular side of the fence has, they have words and like they don't agree and blah, blah, blah. But we very well see where their words line up with the actions and who's impacted by those actions. As far as his family goes, inshallah, his family receives patience, kindness. They receive grace throughout this period. In my experience, many times women, children are not quite sure about the men that they are actually with, or their parents, or who their parents actually are. And so I will afford them that type of grace because I don't know them like that. I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't know. It's crazy. It was crazy to watch. I'll say that part. It's crazy to watch. I didn't want to see it.
Before Red goes, the last part that I got to say about this is that I don't want us to lose sight that this man is not a martyr. I don't care what these people tell you. The man is not a martyr. Better people have been assassinated. So we're not going to put this man up on a pedestal that he has given his life and he is the greatest American as what they trying to paint him. Better people have died. So
Facts.
Just because you got smacked don't mean you was him. You wasn't him.
I will also say that towards the later side of his tenure, his thoughts and feelings around Israel changed significantly. I don't know what that means.
Whoop-de-doo.
I don't know what that I don't know what that means, but it's just like the response today, today's response is nuts, right?
Yeah.
We woke up to news to historical Black colleges being put on heightened, awareness in suspending classes because they had threats called in over Charlie Kirk. And like,
yeah, real quick, let me just.
I didn't know we had anything to do with it. I didn't know our students.
We always got something to do with it.
No, let me just say this real quick. Let me just listen. If y'all go look through history, y'all can look through. You know what I'm saying? The long range rifle that's not usually our bag. We don't usually get into that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? We run around with handguns, switches. We
Back
usually trying
11.
to, you know what I'm saying? We usually trying to and get up out of there. You know what I'm saying? We not doing the 200 yards away, break down the rifle, lay down and do the whole thing. That ain't usually our bag. So I don't even understand the premise of being like, yeah, this had to be one of the black folks or somebody Islamic or something like that. This ain't our thing. We don't really be clapping political officials or political pundits or nothing like that.
Man,
That's
it's not a
just
political pundit.
or a political
But
commentator,
just had a
whatever you want
mic.
to call it.
Bro, just
Whatever
had
you
a
want to call it.
mic.
That's
The
it.
fact. You're right. Go
That's
ahead, Ray.
it.
If Charleston White get clipped, then I need a statue
It's the
somewhere.
same.
It's the
Yeah.
No,
same
we don't.
thing.
No, we don't.
Yeah,
we
we
don't need no
do. If y'all put one up for him, you gotta put one
Oh,
up
yeah.
for him.
For sure. I can see that. I can see that point. Ray, go ahead, brother.
There was a shooting at the University of Massachusetts.
Today,
There was a shooting at Evergreen High School.
yesterday.
There were threats to HBCUs. Those are more important to me. Cool. Wilson, Hamilton, Kirk, Clips. A lot more of the Charlies that I care about than this one, personally. I don't know. Rangel. Let's see, who else? Murphy,
Kirk
Parker.
Cousins.
Man, I care about
Word.
Charlie Ward more than him.
Ward. There you go. Sifford. That's how I feel about it. I want to introduce that to those that may have also, this is a little bit older. I only watched a couple episodes, but I do remember this one. Oddly enough, genuinely didn't look it up. I remember watching this one time, working on an alternator on I think it was a 98 Blazer with Pops, and he has the TV on. Anytime we're in the garage, you got the TV on. And Star Trek Generations was on. And Captain Spocker was helping Captain Kirk, who just so happened to fall under a tunnel. And before he got beamed up to go to the final frontier, his last words were, "Oh my. Oh my." I say all this to say, there's a lot of you out here, and the point that I genuinely want to make, just because they're not in your group doesn't necessarily mean that they're in that group. And if you are someone that did celebrate, sure, you have your own demons to deal with, or maybe your own happiness rituals, whatever you got going on. I'm not here to judge you. Just because you supported him does not mean everybody is over there to celebrate. Being in trouble or facing situations for your words does not also equate to he was just saying things and you shouldn't be judged for your political views. Degrading humans for less than life is not a political view. That is a personal opinion.
Right.
Those two things need to delineate. And I need you to understand that as you go along. Just because you didn't put rest in peace does not make you the enemy. And for those that feel like that, you got to deal with that on your own. We don't even need to get into the whirlpool of, well, if you did it here, you should do it there all the time. No. You reap what you sow. You reap what you sow. It's all gang violence until you have to say, "Oh my." Go debate with the captain.
Yeah, I mean, I look, man. It's not much to say in light of the dude. You feel what I'm saying?
Charlie
Like I don't.
Brown, he cooler.
I just don't.
Chuck
Yeah.
Charlie that
Norris.
got bit as a baby.
Chuck Norris, and because he's only
Charlie bit
he
me.
was Charlie bit me. He was only 31. Do you know what messages he put out there for someone that's only 31 to be saying? That was aged, embedded bigotry.
Mm-hmm.
That was fine wine bigotry that he was putting out for someone that was only 31 years of age. We're not going to treat 30s as if it's old. He is still was still relatively young in his lifestyle. speaking as someone with the baton and the torch of those of past, passing it down. That whole MAGA symbol of make it great again, somebody from then gave it to him now to continue on with the baton and lead on the next generation. He was only 31 years old. And he was saying things that had massive historical context that could change the shape and the way that people maneuver on a regular basis. But just because it doesn't apply to you, now when mortality is in your face, you have a different feel. Your guilty conscience is kicking in. At best, you were passive and let it build. And just because you didn't agree with what he said, you still saw that momentum and where it was going, and you didn't know where it led to until he is no longer here. And last I checked, there's a possibility that when there's an anomaly going on in your body, you go to the doctor and they check it out. And the theory of evolution would mean if it's a problem for your body, it gets removed. That's all I got. That's all I got.
Very, very
Yeah.
well
I'll reload.
And real quick, because some of you said it goes right into Rose's point. This is exactly why he's not a martyr. He's not dying on a new hill. He's bringing in he's running with a trope of that's built on the foundation of this country. Like he's just like that's why he's not a martyr. You can't be a martyr on you running a consistent thing that's already built in place. So this is why I didn't respond in the message in the group chat today, because this is kind of the message that I was gonna say. He was just a leader in the small subset of the bigger overarching thing. He was just a general.
Yeah.
And guess what? When you lose another one, because you didn't spread so many out there, another one just gonna be propped up.
Yeah, and I want to say that too. Like all of this fear mongering shit that y'all trying to do about like, oh, this is gonna make the climate work. The climate is worse now. The climate is trash now. That's what folks was trying to say to him. Hey, this is dangerous. Hey, you might not want to come up here. Hey, let's put some donations in place to get him to not come up here. Y'all called all them people soft. Y'all call them snowflakes. Y'all call them woke. Y'all want to call and put a problem on all of that. And then when it come back to bite you in the ass, don't look at us talking about some where's your empathy? How could you
New
Hey,
clip.
and lastly, it's just interesting to me as somebody that feels like they built their foundation on statistics and facts. What did you think happened to all the other people that built their shit on divisiveness? What do you think happened to those people? What was the outcome? What was the statistics on that?
because we
Didn't
got
they
the
all get
numbers.
clapped? Didn't they all get
All of them across the board. If you really
every
just
last
all
one of them
sides.
got smoked? And
On all
you thought you was
across
exempt,
the
brother?
board.
No, bad math. Bad
Part
math.
of that spectrum, whoever did it on whatever side of the spectrum you landed on, you had the same result once you started coaching.
Oh, but maybe he was only 13% of that population. I don't know.
Hey, that's crazy. That's crazy how that works. You know what? Better yet, new clip. Hey, for all of y'all that are really stuck on the side of he was just a voice, you know what? Let's shift it off of the other people that you putting the blame on. I'm gonna talk to you specifically. You're trying to make him a martyr because he had the nuts and the power to say the things that you're too pussy to say out loud. That's what it really is. He said all the hateful shit that you had in your heart, but you too pussy to say it out loud because you know what would happen. You saw what just happened, and that's where you run into your issue. You don't have the heart to even stand on what it is you actually feel inside. And then when somebody stepped up to the plate to say, hey, stop playing with me, and then they slid him across the mouth, now you feel away. You don't have the heart. Start with you. You idolized him, but didn't have the heart to follow in your idol's footsteps.
Something
like
we
you
gotta something we real quick, and I'm come right to you, Bodega. Real just something we can all speak to is we all have a daily conversation with ourselves about our own mortality due to the skin color that we walk around with. Every single day we get up to go outside, go to the doctor, get pulled over by a cop, just walk through our own neighborhood. There's a conversation that we have internally or externally or spiritually about, yo, with death every single day. You have to know that all of y'all is in the field with us. all of y'all is in the field with us. If the government,
it's
if the
stupid to
government
make
will
it-
let it happen to us, you thought they wouldn't let it happen to you? When we telling you at the same time, it's already happening to you. Hey
And
man,
that's why it's so stupid to make it a color, a race thing, or a political view. You put out something and it came back tenfold. You don't get to control what those forces bring back to your table if you started to play
Godspeed,
around with them
Spider-Man.
forces.
it's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? That it was not, it was never at any point, whatever happened yesterday, the fact that it was even a conversation to make it political and or racial when we don't even know who it was that did it
Or why?
is speaking to the
Or
reason why
why?
you have the cowardice to say it, or the why. Any of that. We had no answers, and y'all made answers happen, and that's why it's on your heart for being
And,
lame.
and real quick, and I'm coming right to you, Bodega. Real quick, for all of y'all out there that's talking about how we gotta, for all of y'all on that side of things, talking about how the political violence, we can't keep continuing this political violence. For all of y'all that's saying that, and then also saying we about to go to war, what do you think war is? If not political violence? But I ain't gonna hold
Nah. They know. They know.
you.
They
That's what I'm
they
saying.
know.
That's what
They
I'm
know.
saying.
In this, bro. In this is like,
Country started
you know,
off
I'm
with
just
political
gonna
violence.
say it by name. Steve-O Zone 4, Steve-O Dingle, running for Atlanta City Council District 11. You know what I'm saying? You would have my vote if I was in District 11. But bro, we gotta keep it clean on some things, because again, words lead to actions. And if you're running for city council, all we have is your words currently. You know what I'm saying? You want us to buy into your words. You want us to believe the things that you say and then hope that the actions will follow. I need to understand how this is any different. I need to understand how anybody on any other side is different. I know you're very much a show and prove kind of brother, not, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate that when it came to music business or anything along those lines, but like, your platform is words. These platforms were words, and we see in this case, we've seen the action behind those words. This is why I bring up the statistic of DEI initiatives, or the lack of DEI initiatives, leading to 756,000 Black women losing their jobs this year.
That's all off words.
756,000 Black women lost their jobs this year. And this was the mildest part of what he was talking about. It's
Facts.
the mildest.
Facts.
Right? You don't believe in DEI initiatives, cool, whatever case, whatever. It's the mildest part.
This is
And that was action on.
that's
So
this. Yeah, go ahead. My fault. Go ahead.
when we start talking about rhetoric, we start talking about consequences, we start talking about words, like, do we think that these other things do not, you know what I'm saying? Like what are we saying? What are we saying?
When the man got up there and told y'all he didn't have a healthcare plan, I'm talking about the commander in chief at this point, Donald. When he got up there and told y'all he didn't have a healthcare plan, and then the action that followed was him taking mad of y'all's healthcare. What, connect the dot, bro? 1 + 1. It's all right there. It's all right there for you. When we talking about these folks getting out here saying, you know, yeah, the illegals is such a problem, the illegals is such a problem, and then that leads to him giving ICE the most money we've ever seen ICE get, and then we seeing folks get rounded up in the street, whether they legal or not. These are the actions that follow these words. These are the actions that follow these thoughts. We can't act like these things don't play in tandem with one another. So when it come back around to you, be careful. We say all the time on this platform, be careful with what you say, because you don't know how other people is going to take that or what they're going to do with it. Here you go. Here you go. Whoop-de-doo.
You shouldn't be harmed for what your political views are is a statement that you should address internally and externally. This country was founded off of political view violence, and has not seen political peace since the country has been founded. It has been consistent political violence in every facet, addressing every which person outside of a very, very small percentage that you and those that are spending time arguing with any of us and any of other people that don't align with you, but don't align with us. That small percentage didn't care about none of us in totality. But you spending more time focusing on this nonsense rhetoric of it shouldn't be about words. It was always about words. It always was about words.
The country went to war for independence against its imperial overlords of words.
No taxation without representation. That's what they said.
They freed themselves from. They freed themselves. Like our country freed themselves from the rules and tyranny of Great Britain, just to continue enslaving niggas and keep the money that they would generate. They didn't want to give the money away to somebody across the pond, so they fought for their independence and said they were free while enslaving niggas.
And so genocide the natives.
More of the capital.
And genocide the natives. Come on, man. This ain't hard. This ain't hard to put together. If you paying attention,
know why we woking this out. That's what I hate. I don't
know
why
it ain't even but we can't even do that though. We can't even do that though, because it's real deal, bro. Being woke is being aware, being awake. If you sleep and then you wake up to the gunshots, hey man, you should have, hey bro, tap in, lock in for real. You
man. Almost missed.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Nah, I ain't rolling. But he got it. But he caught a neck shot from 200 yards. That ain't a miss in my book. But yeah, man,
hey, hold on, before we dip, I got a question. So with this shooting, and because he didn't miss, we still gonna believe.
We don't know if it's a he. Allegedly, we don't know if it's a he. We don't know.
We still gonna believe that
they got him.
The one person got shot last year for real. We still gonna believe that?
No, I never believed that out the gate.
Cause that's something I've been thinking. I've been thinking like, cause he stopped talking about it. He stopped bragging about it. It didn't disappear. It didn't swept under the rug. Like, to me, this confirms that was completely capped.
Yeah, come on, man. Listen, bro. Don't no president get shot at and then the Secret Service allow you to stand up. That ain't happening.
Like that's just something that I thought about, that I had been thinking about, and the fact of for him to for Cuz to come out, like, I ain't gonna lie, that might have been the fastest presidential response to a murder ever.
Bro, they out here talking about you for an influencer. Talking about you fucked the city up with this one.
Netanyahu responded, bro.
Like that's crazy.
Come on, man. Oh yeah, man. Look, man. Charlie Kirk. It's over.
It's about gang violence until you say, "Oh my." Go debate with the captain.
Let God sort him out, man. And with that said, this has been another great episode of the Keep It Clean podcast. My brothers, I appreciate y'all for pulling up as always. Episodes dropping every Tuesday. One-offs dropping every Friday. We will be back in here as soon as we can. Until then, keep it a buck, keep it a bean, keep it clean. Be careful with what you say. The energy you produce always comes back. We out.